Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick run through of common questions that we're asked as a property investment agency and that you should consider as a property investor. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Nick. I'm the Managing Director of Verta Property Group. We've got a network of 30,000 investors globally, hundreds of 5-star reviews, and we help investors purchase 100% remotely in the UK property market and Dubai from start to finish completely free of charge. Now, when we're engaging with investors, there's the same questions that come up over and over again. So I wanted to record a very quick fire video. This is completely unscripted. I've got my questions here that are commonly asked, and I'm just going to reel through them and give you some quick responses. So hopefully it will save you a bit of time and you can get the information and the content that you need. So let's get started. By the way, I should add that this is focused purely on the UK market. Now, what location should I focus on? It depends what you're looking for, but overall, most investors that we engage with, they're looking for the best return on investment. So that, in terms of property, comes from the rental income, i.e. the rental yield, how much income the property produces, and the capital appreciation. So for both of those income streams, they're pretty much centered around the northwest of the UK. So places like Manchester, Liverpool, Sheffield, Leeds, Huddersfield. If you look at residential market forecasts from experts like Savills, if you look at monthly capital appreciation reports from companies like HomeTrack or Zoopla, then you're going to see time and time again that the Northwest region and the Northeast typically outperform the Southeast and the Southwest in terms of capital appreciation, which basically means that the values in those regions increase faster than they would in the other regions. Obviously, you have the Midlands, which is a great investment location as well. But if you were someone to ask me, where am I going to get the best appreciation? Most of the time, on average, you're looking at the Northwest region. Obviously, it completely depends on the deal that you're looking at, though. Can I use a mortgage for my purchase? Yes. The vast majority of buyers are going to be mortgage buyers, buy-to-let purchases, and they can be residents or non-residents. We can help you with both, with reasonable interest rates and a clear, transparent structure, which is going to be beneficial for leveraging. Who will manage the property for me? So we have a number of different options. You can use one of our recommended management partners who we partner with on multiple projects, who we know, like, and trust, who they can look after the property for you. Or in some cases, if there's a fixed return or rental assurance coming from the developer, then the developer will manage it on your behalf. So this is for the individual lettings and management for the specific apartment, okay? Now, the rates from that can be anything from 8% to 12% of the monthly rental income plus VAT, but that's for a fully managed option. So they'll find the tenant, vet the tenant, handle the moving in process, the deposits, the keys, things like that, and then they'll look after the property on a month-to-month basis. And that's for when you're renting the property on a long-term basis. You can do the short-term let model in some cases where you'd rent, or the management company would rent it on Airbnb and Booking.com, and the management company will charge a slightly higher fee for that, typically 15 to 18% of the monthly operating income from what's coming from the property. And they'll take their slice of that because there's a bit more work involved, but overall your margin should be higher on that. So that's who's going to be managing the property for you. That, I'll just mention quickly, is separate to who's managing the building. You have your lettings and property manager for your individual unit. Then you have what you call the block manager, who looks after the entire building. They're the ones that come up with the service charge budget and will make sure that the building's ticking over nicely, looking after and responsible for things like landscaping and gardening, car park management, lift maintenance, buildings insurance, any repairs that need doing, security and concierge, etc., etc. They're the ones that just make sure it's all professionally looked after and upkept, which is important because you want the property to be maintained well, because it will ensure the values are held within your individual units within that hire or within that overall block. Should I buy in a company name? In most cases, for investors, given the tax structure in the UK now, it is beneficial to purchase in a company name, which we can help you set up and handle for you. It's very quick, very easily done. And in most cases, there is a sufficient tax saving to be made. I should add that I'm not a qualified, tax advisor, so you do need to seek professional advice, and we can introduce you to qualified tax experts and accountants who will advise on that. But I can tell you now, if you do a basic bit of online research, it will tell you in most cases that it's typically beneficial to purchase in a company name for a number of reasons, which I'm not going to go into at this minute. What are the costs involved? So purchase costs, you're looking at legal fees, you're looking at stamp duty, you're looking at furnishing the property and mortgage broker fees, company setup fees, bits and bobs like that. That's typically for the acquisition. And then during ownership, you'll have your service charges, which is typically paid quarterly or yearly. And then ground rent's not much of an issue these days, given the new regulations. Typically, it's a peppercorn ground rent, which means it can be like £1 a year. But your management fees will obviously have to be considered as well. So service charge and the management fees are the main ones for the ongoing costs. How can I exit the investment? Last one I've got here, and that's easily done. Again, it depends on the asset. Obviously, things like student accommodation, HMOs, assisted living or social housing can be a bit more challenging, but normal residential property, you can go to any high street estate agent and they will gladly charge you a small sum and market that property and sell it for you. That may be to an owner occupier, it may be to an investor. If you're using agencies like ourselves, you can do that as well, but you can expect to pay a slightly higher premium. And it is possible to sell during the construction period or post handover, depending on your appetite. But do check, because if you want to sell or potentially exit the investment during the construction period, then you need what's called an assignability clause in your contracts. Not every development automatically has them, so do check that. And yeah, that's it, guys. There's 5 or 6 questions there for you, answered very briefly. If you want more context, if you want more information, if you want proper written detailed responses, then let me know. I'll be happy to provide them and make sure you've got all the info you need in order to make a sound and safe investment. Don't forget, we don't charge any fees for our service, so we happily give that advice, and we've been doing it for many years now. So most questions that we're asked, we've come up against before and we do have experience of. So see the details below in the description. Reach out to me, I'll happily help. And that's Nick at Verta Property Group. Speak to you soon.